Welcome to the SHAC, safe, happy and creative. It's lovely to have your company. My name's Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK. And as many of you know, we doodle every Monday at 10 o'clock together, just hang out, drink coffee and keep each other company. And then, of course, on a Thursday evening as well. And if that weren't enough, Paul keeps you company. Our good friend Paul Church keeps you company on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock on Groovy Tuesday. So happy Monday. My glasses are filthy. It's just like a fog here. Come on in. It'd be nice to have your company. It was a busy weekend, friends. Oh, who was there? Who was watching on Create and Craft? Now, Paul, our friend, says, sound is nice and clear. So I'm working from home today because I couldn't get my head off the pillow this morning. So if the builders are noisy, just let them get on with it. They're swimming. Oh, they got webbed feet now. But we've got lovely, sunny weather here in the southeast of England. It was a real treat this morning to open the curtains and let the sunshine in. You know, it makes a change. We've had months of rain, it feels like. And it's funny when the sun shines in, the world just feels like a kinder place, doesn't it? Good morning, everyone. Come on in. I'm going to take it easy this morning. Were you felt by clarity yesterday? Were you? Did you feel it? I certainly did. And Saturday. If you're wondering what we're talking about, we launched a new concept, the Felt by Clarity range, with those dyes, and it was just, you know, when all the stars are aligned, all the stars were aligned. And we had the best presenters, you know, yesterday. Well, Debbie Shaw, she's a good friend of mine, been friends for many, many years. So it was great to work with Debbie because she's just, she is the face of sewing, really, for me. So it was lovely to work with her. And then the design team, Jilly, Clifton and friends. You know, all I can say is thank you so much for those samples. Didn't the set look lovely? The set just looked so beautiful, you know, and it came together so lovely. We kind of imagined what it would look like, Julie and Paul and I and friends at work, and then, you know, but you can't really guarantee it until you lay it all out and you think, yep, it works. You know, so many thanks to everybody it was a real team effort. And I think that was evident, wasn't it? It was a serious team effort. I was just a bus driver for the weekend. And yeah, it was good. Jane Telford, good morning, darling. It was a cold and frosty start here. Oh no, it's beautiful here. I'm looking forward to going up on the forest and getting some fresh air this morning. Yeah, nice to have your company. Hilda, hello, Hilda. Nice to have your company too. Big shout out for Hilda Smith. Hilda, do me a favor and put your website address. Put your link to your website address. Hilda, another very good friend of ours from Scotland, incredibly talented artist. And I saw your website. It's glorious, Hilda. So if you would like a portrait, animal portraits is your strength, isn't it, love? Honestly, she's the lady, she's the girl. Okay. So yeah, definitely. If you want a special portrait of your furry baby, your fur baby, then she's the lady. Nice to have your company as well, Josie, and everybody else. Traveling gently today, though, and I thought, while everybody's, let's have a look what we got. Oh, it's Gracie in France with her grandmother. Nice to have your company too, Grace. Beautiful woman. Yeah, she is. Talking about her grandmother. She is a beautiful woman. And Grace is having such a good time. Barbara, grandmother Barbara, not me. My ex-mother-in-law is also called Barbara. I was telling you, she's blind now. Fabulous lady, and she must be so happy to be spending a week or so with her granddaughter back in her home. She hasn't been able to be in her home because it's too difficult for her alone, you know. So it's really nice. I'm so glad that that is happening. So yeah, Hilda, really appreciate that. But yeah, go on, girl, get that posted. It all started in the SHAC. It certainly did. But you're a very, very talented artist. And yeah, if you get a chance, go and have a look at Hilda's website and make a note of it. You know, when you want a special gift for somebody, she's the lady to ask. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. You just got to see the quality of her work. Okay, now let's see. Where are we? Dandelions. We're drawing an alphabet this year, aren't we, in the SHAC? And so every couple of weeks we move on to another letter, and today is D. We're going to tie up D today. D for dandelion. D for D for Donald Duck. D for Donald Duck, I said. D for donkey. That'll do, donkey. Yeah, so we did some really nice dandelions. And actually, I've had an idea while I was getting ready for this morning. I thought it would be really nice on Thursday, if you fancy it, we could have a little recap of what we did at the weekend. Okay, so we did, Gracie doesn't know this, that we're on live on the SHAC, and she's pinging away here. Maybe, Paul, you'd be so good as just to text Grace and tell her to stop pinging me. I'll talk to her after the SHAC. That'd be great. Yeah, so I thought on Thursday at 7 o'clock, I'll get all the samples and we can have a little recap of all the beautiful felt, have a look at the artwork closer, you know, a little gallery of all those beautiful samples. And then I was thinking, because of course this is where we were traveling from with our D for dandelion. And I thought, well, to tie up that letter nicely, how about we run this through the felt? You know, I'll get a piece of felt and we'll run it through the felt, and we can recap on the tricks and tips, you know, for us card makers now, you know. And yeah, let's do that on Thursday at 7 o'clock. So we're going to have a craft along if you fancy it, if you've got the die or any die and a piece of felt that's got adhesive on the back. If it may already be delivered by then for you, yeah, and let's just do it. And the thing is, even if you just watch, it will be recorded on YouTube or on Facebook Live, yeah, and then you can always go back. And that way, because the trouble is with one-day specials on TV, they don't repeat them, you see. So once it's gone, it's gone. So let's just do a little recap so that you can, you know, like a little referral, like a little library, a little reminder. That would be great, Barb. Thank you, Ken. I value your opinion. Yeah, so today I thought what would be really nice for those of you who haven't been in the SHAC with me before. We started on D for dandelion, I don't know, last week, I think. It's not been too long, has it? And we drew these off the back of our friend Mel's work, because I really, really love this die. It was on a Super Saver on the telly not so long ago, and I thought, I love this die. This is very drawable, and I've seen some wonderful artwork on our Clarity Worldwide pages. So that'd be cool, right? So they're easy, aren't they? You can always go back and check how we drew them. Just, it's very simple, very arty. They're nice, aren't they? And then I thought, well, let's take the stalk and turn it into a word. Then I realized we were on D for dandelion, so I went to discovery. We also did those ones. We doodled those ones in the center. I haven't done those though. I'm more interested in this one. So then last time we got together, we transferred it, didn't we? We transferred it to a piece of card, you know, flipped it, got that one, just a little topper when we flipped it back the other way so the writing was right. So when I say flip, what I mean is because that's the way round, we had to transfer it to put lead on this side, to put the pencil on that side. This is just for the uninitiated. And then once the lead or the graphite with your HB pencils on that side, then you can flip it, see, because we drew it on this side originally. And then when you go back over it, it transfers the pencil mark to the card. And then when you've done that, you ink it, right? Simple, 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 simple. So that was how we got to this. And today I thought we'd do some 3D shading, because let me show you where we are. Let me take this out of the way. Take that out of the way and put this one in. So while we're shading, we can have a bit of banter, but I think we'll get going and then we can chat while we colour, can't we? Hey? So I thought that was quite nice, see? And then on its side it says freedom, or this one says freedom. This one's going to say discovery, you know? So you've got your own word. I wonder what you've used today. Have you done the inking? Are you ready to rock and roll? Hey, Maggie, nice to have your company. Just a quick question, Barbara. I watched the program yesterday and really felt really like a teal. Oh, it's going too fast. Someone suggested, is there a place we could go to the colours, make bigger ones that are not only black? Oh, I see. Okay, Patricia, you're talking about I was trying to read it as it was, because there's messages are flying up the side here at quite a distance. So I'm trying to just see. Maybe you can make bigger ones that are not only black. Great shows, by the way. Love these felts. So pleased it was a great success. Well, I'm telling you now, Patricia, we invested very heavily in felt to make sure that we had a good range. And we went with the black backers only because there's a lot of, it's expensive. And so now we know that the backers were very popular, right? We could think about getting some other colors in. Now, I really I'm going to go with, you know, maybe we could go with 4 or 5 if you were going to, what we're looking at, the wall hanging or the whole range of backers, because I know what you mean. Maybe we could add a few of those as well. If this really takes off, Patricia, I might just, you're saying teal, I understand, you know, we could, I'll see, well, let's get it priced out. Let's see what this costs, because, you know, I can't just buy one. I have to buy more than one, a lot more than one. So, yeah, it might be a little while before we do that. We will. It just, one day at a time, eh? Today, all I want to do is stare at the hills on the forest and kind of reflect and be grateful, you know, get a bit of gratitude going, because it was so good yesterday. And interesting, because I did 3 hours on the spin, didn't I? So I did the hour with Debbie, the last hour. I mean, it was a phenomenal. Those rulers, those stitch rulers, what is happening? There was a little bit of a moment of clarity on those rulers. You know, something so obvious, it's never been done before. So that's good. Sometimes the obvious things, isn't it funny how the obvious things get missed? Anyhow, we found that one, so we're doing that. What was I saying? Yeah, so I did 3 hours back to back, and so I shot across the set and went to work with Martin for 2 hours, 3 to 5, and it was such a lovely show. I don't know whether I was just, I don't know, I wasn't tired. I just really enjoyed it. I loved the pace. I love those designs. They're Mel's designs, same sort of flavour as this, aren't they? I love her designs anyway. I really like the two-way overlay little stamps. I mean, when you love the product and you love the presenter, and also I have to tell you, we had a dynamite, like brilliant producer, amazing presenter, great floor crew. You know, when all this, that's what I mean about all the stars being aligned. It was just lovely. You know, it's a joy to be there on days like that. And you know, and we sold well. And people, you know, it's not all about the money. obviously that's why we're there. But it was, I always think if you put in the action, this was what I said to Paul when we were going up the motorway to go and set up early Saturday morning for the ODS, for the one day special, for the felt session. And I said, Paul, and honestly, we were in his car, he was driving, and you couldn't have squeezed a burp into the back of that car. It was so full. Okay. Like, it was like Tetris, right? And we got it all in. And I said, whatever you do, don't brake suddenly, because we'll have it all in our laps. And we were trundling up the motorway, and you're full of apprehension. You've invested a fortune, and are you going to get the return on your investment? Are they going to like it? Everybody's worked so hard, huge team effort. Gilly's masterpiece, God only knows how long that took her, and so on and so on. And I said to him, the thing is, Paul, you can put in the action. You can put in all the action and do the very, very best that you can do, but you cannot control the outcome. We have to hand it over now. I mean, I'm a firm believer. If you put in the action and you do the absolute best and you can't do any more, we got to the point where it's like, well, I don't know what else we can do now. This is about as good as it gets. And then you say, and I find when you've done that and you've prepared to the nth degree, then usually, provided there's not a natural disaster or something happens that's awful, or the television breaks down, or you get a black screen or something like that, usually you get a good result because you've put in all the action. But there is a point where you have to say, I've got to hand this over now to my higher power, to the gods, to God. You've got to let go, because you can't control the outcome. And then when you relax into that fact, because that is a fact, then you can enjoy it. But if you keep trying to control the outcome, it's torment. And I think you can take that and impose that on everything in life. You put in the action and then you hand it over. And then you have to see what happens. But at least you can say, well, I did the best that I could do. I did everything I could do to make it work. So that was where we were at yesterday. Enough. The Felt by Clarity is wonderful. Thank you, Sue. I love it. I'm going to wait a bit before I buy. Well, I'm going to wait a bit before I get the teal backers as well. As I've got a lot going on at the moment. So have I. I feel it. But the thing is, when you launch something, it's like new concept, new idea. You've taken an idea, which is just what it is. It's an idea. It's nothing more than that, is it? An idea is only an idea until you turn it into something real. And there was many months of preparation on that one. And then you just have to say, right, and now we'll see if it worked. And it's like a roast dinner. You spend hours at a Christmas dinner, you spend weeks and hours and planning and making and preparing, and then it's gone in minutes, isn't it? And those rulers definitely were gone in minutes. Poor old Paul was scrambling, trying to keep up with stock levels. It was really good, really good. So thank you. I'm sure that lots of you, lots of our tribe, our community got on board with the felt. I know you did. But a lot of Debbie's soft crafters, they climbed on board too. And there's a big overlap. It's interesting. Very interesting. Crafters are makers. We make. And if you see something that's easy on the eye and you think, do you know what? I want to make that. That's how it all started in an Airbnb in Portland, Maine. And I looked at this beautiful wall hanging and I thought, that is fabulous. That looked beautiful in my bedroom. I think and then I tried to buy it. She wouldn't sell it to me. So then I started looking at it and investigating. I thought, oh, it's felt. But it wasn't inlaid. It was onlaid and it was all hand cut. And I thought, I don't know, I've got the times for that kind of passion project. And then I tried to buy one, couldn't find one anywhere. Looked everywhere, nada. And then I thought, blow it, I'm going to make one myself. And that's how this whole concept was born. I'm going to make one myself. And now we've got the English, the British, everybody's been felt by clarity. Love it. Yeah, I love it. Right, come on, let's do some shading. Right, you ready? So what do we need to do this? Let's have a look. Well, we need a few pencils. How about these? These will do. So we've got, see, I can't find anything here. We've got the, you know, that set of 12 polychromos. That's what you need. A set of 12 polychromos. And I'll tell you another thing that you could use is just top tip. Just have a piece of the card that you're colouring on next to you, right? Just to check the colours, right? Just check the colour. That's going to be the inside. I'm going to use that. And so this is actually called cream. Cream. It's weird, really, because in German it's called Strohgelb, which translated word for word is straw yellow. So where straw yellow became cream, I'm not sure, but there you go. They didn't employ me to translate their pencils, did they? Strohgelb. Right, so this one here, one of our pergoliners, this is a nice one as well. So this is number B10. So we'll use that. And then we've just got some light greys. So that's a warm one, I'd say. I've got warm grey 4. I've got my little boring beige, warm grey 2, that one is. So we've got warm, see, they're warm, they're not cold, they're not blue, they're brown. See? That's nice. And that one looks even darker. What's that one? Warm grey 5. There you go. That'll do. So that's my dark one. So I've got light, medium, dark, whichever one you go for, right? Whatever you do, it's got to be light, medium, dark. We're going to start with the light one, move into the dark one, and that's how you get this effect. See? So I like that. Let's have a look. See? Got the shade. Let's look at it in a different light, and then you'll see it. If I turn that around, you can see it looks like you could get your finger in under there, but you can't. It's all flat. Okay? So that'll do. That's what we'll do. Okay. Let's go for it. And I think we'll start. I tell you what I am going to do. I'm going to go and get my Dame Edna's, because my eyes are tired, friends. My legs are tired. My back is tired. But it's all I need is my eyes for this one. What else can I use? What else have I got? This is the, oh yeah, sharpener. That's useful. And there's another grey there. Let's take those ones just in case. That'll do. Yeah, I haven't emptied my box of tricks yet from the telly. I always take a big box of tricks with all my bits and pieces in it, just in case. There you go. There we go, sharpener. And, lovely Pat Hoskins, Pergamano. Isn't that lovely? I love that. Makes me think of Pat. She made us a beautiful, isn't it lovely? She made one for several of us. But it's good because it protects my little Dame Edna's. They look a little bit shot as well. But there you go. They're ever so good because they're magnified. All right, now I can see what I'm doing. That's handy. Right, light one first. And let's do the shading first. So when you do shading, most of you know this, but you're going to say the light is coming from this area here, right? Let's say the light is coming, let's say, from that angle there. So we'll be able to get a bit of shade in there, there. It's always on that side of anything and at that side of anything. So, for example, if we start over on this side, right, that's why we're going to use the light one. And we're going to make, like, let's call it a chisel, like flat, like that. If you had a bit of sandpaper, which I do in this cupboard, I think. There you go, that'll do. So a sanding block. We used to sell the sanding blocks. I don't know if we do it anymore now. That'll do. Right, so you just get a nice flat chisel going, right? And then what we're going to do is take that flat. Let's have a look. Get going. And we're going to not press too hard. And you can't really see much. What you're doing is you're going along that edge like that. And then you just Just go like that. So Hilda, do you use polychromos? Do you use the polychromos when you're doing your job? When you're doing your art? I bet you do, don't you? Do you use polychromos? See, I think if I were going to draw pictures of animals, I would probably use my polychromos. But what do I know? I think they are my choice anyway. I mean, there are lots of different lovely pencils on the market, but that would be me. Right, so don't worry about the word right now. Let's just get the flower in first. Okay, so and what we're doing here, we can always add more. Look, when you look at that, my one there, right? Let's get this out of the way. Let's get a bit tight, right? You can always come out further here. You can always come out further afterwards. But what we're doing here is just deciding, right, establishing where we're going to do some shading. Okay, so it's really relaxing. So then we're going to go under here. It's underneath and there. So it's that and that, that and that, that and that. There you go. Do 3 of those every time. That'll work. And then that side, but not that side because the light's coming down there. So that's the top. So we'll do a bit of that. Then we're going to go there, right? Then we're going to go there and under there. So it's there and there, there and there. Just do a little bit of it. Don't overthink it. It's just a trick like there. See? And then on this side, we're going to go there and there. There you go. So you're just going to work that side, that side. Just get your... Thing is, if you get it wrong, right, if you get the shadow in the wrong place, just get your rubber out, get your eraser pencil. I've got one. There we go. It is useful. You know the white one that takes out the colour of the ink on the paper when we use the designer parchment or our lovely collage papers. This is the one that takes out that kind of ink, right, which is really invaluable. And then the other end, well, you can get them individually as well, so you get twice as long, really. And then this end, the pink end, is the end that gets rid of. So if you want to take back you think, oh, hang on, I got it in the wrong place, I didn't want to put the shadow there, then you just get rid of it again. See, it's easy. That's why we're not pressing too hard until we're absolutely sure we're in the right place. Right, there you go. So that way, and then that way, that way, and then that way. Easy. Okay, so once you've established your shade, yeah, I know you must be sick of looking at me by now. All weekend, eh? I know, friends. I am. It's extreme. It was extreme, and I really appreciate your company. You know. So the same thing here, right? On the G, it's going to be under there and on that side. So under there and on that side. There you go, like so. So you're going to put the shadow on the same thing. So here, as far as I understand, it's there, it's there, it's there, it's there. Underneath, in there. So just, you're doing it lightly to start with, okay? Because then that way, if you change your mind, so it's that side, doing 3D, and then it's this bottom, isn't it? It's under there. So that's it there as well. I mean, I don't know. I'm only the bus driver, friends. But I'd say that this will do. There you go. So it's that bit there, around there, and it moves to there, comes around the side there. That's a bit there. See, once you start actually looking at it as a letter, it gets more obvious, doesn't it? That one there. That one there. That one there. Here we go. Yeah, that's better. Right. That'll do. Just to get it started. So now have a look at your shadowing and decide whether you've got it right. So it's come round there. I've got to go a bit further around that side. Even though it's thin, it takes over. It comes round there like that. That's it. So that's what it's doing, really, if you think about it. Right, so once you're happy with your shading, you got it in the right place. Did Hilda respond to my question? Hilda, did you? Have a look. Oh, Hilda replying to Hazel Edwards. Oh no, they're chatting. I always use polychromos as they blend beautifully. I also use Karen Dash. Yes, yeah, okay. To name but 3. So you've got the lot. Yeah, good. Right, take that away for a minute. Okay, so now we've got that, right? So once we've established that, let's feather a bit further. So when I say feathering, right, just shade out a little bit like that. Just a bit of shadow. And then you can cross hatch. So in other words, you're feathering one way and then you're feathering the other way. Okay, is my head suddenly getting in the way? What's happening here? It's all right. I'm sure you understand. There, you see? So we're getting that nice shadow going there. And we'll do it more at the top here because it's larger. And go a little bit more on that side. I enjoyed working with Martin yesterday as well. He's a crack, you know. He's a smashing fella. And I've known him for years, you know. I mean, I couldn't the way I speak to him sometimes, like an old married couple, and you think, oh, you know, I can only get away with it with certain presenters like him and Dean. I can get away with that kind of banter with those two, but I don't think the other presenters. I don't think they know what hit them. I suddenly said, like I did yesterday, "Are you listening?" Yeah, it was funny. He's very smart. He's a clever bloke, like Dean is, and so he's always 3 steps ahead of what's going on, you know. But sometimes he forgets to be in the, you know, in the moment, and then I have to rein him back in, you know, because I'm talking to him, and he's away with the fairies. But it's nice to have that relationship with the presenter. Right, so we've done that one. Now let's go to the second one, numero dos. What have we got here? Warm grey 4, that'll do. Right, so now what we're going to do is get a little bit closer to the edge. So it's not quite such the chisel, and we're going to feather down that line. And so I'm coming along like this. Have a look. See, and you can see, am I on the page even? There you go, sorry guys. Right, so you go along like that, and then you just keep that edge there. Turn it around that way, it's better for me. So you go like that. And the other thing is, you know, if you press too hard, so you've heard me say this 1,000 times, if you press too hard, then you create like a seal, as in it locks it. It's like an oil layer, and you can't get in there. It's like a wax seal. And if that happens, then all you do is just take your pencil, just rub over. You'll notice it starts to go really shiny. And then you think, oh, hang on a minute, I've done too much. So you rub it back, take it back a little bit. So then the pencil's got a bit of purchase again. And in the same way, right, if it seals here, it will seal on there. So you might just need to do that to make sure that the pencil hasn't sort of waxed over as well. Just little things like that. You'll soon know because you'll be pressing and nothing's changing, you know. That happens too. So let's get that edge in. Let's have a look. What are we doing for time? Oh yeah, this is all right. This is fine. So there, that's that. Yeah. How was your weekend anyway? Mine was actually really enjoyable, you know. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I get really nervous and I don't enjoy TV. I don't usually I don't relish going, you know. I think I'm a bit more introvert than you would actually believe. And so when in the days leading up to going up to TV, I get quite not despondent, it's not the right word, apprehensive, anxious, you know, even after 15 years, I still get a bit nervous about it, you know. I get, oh God, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing to do. But of course, it's necessary because for business, you know, it's a privilege. Always have considered it to be a real privilege to be allowed to go on TV and, you know, and sell my wares. It's great, and be allowed to do the demos that I'm allowed to do. I mean, it's great, really, right? However, I get really nervous and really, I can't say that I don't enjoy the run up to it. That's for certain. You know, once I get there, I just fake it to make it. Same old, isn't it? But I'd much rather, like, this is, to me, hanging out with my friends in the shack. This is not stress. This is just lovely, you know. It would be nicer if there were a few of you actually sitting here, so I wasn't just talking to myself. But the same on telly. I haven't got anyone to talk to there. I'm just bouncing off the presenter, aren't I? But once I get into the artwork, I'm all right. I'm off. That's it. Once I get into what I'm actually demonstrating, yeah. But you know, even after all these years, my nose runs like a tap. My fingers get. It's so strange. So strange. So yeah. And other people, they really enjoy it. You know, they really get a buzz off it. Not I can tell you that. But there you go. Right, here we go here. And so, so when I do actually enjoy it after the fact, you know, it's like, I don't know whether I just come from that generation. It's a job. It's my job. And if you enjoy your job, it's a bonus. That's what my dad always used to say. Work's work, Barb, you know? And if you enjoy it, that's a bonus. Whereas now there's this sort of philosophy of, you know, if you don't enjoy your work, don't do it. And it's like, well, yeah, but it's a job. It still pays the bills, doesn't it? It still pays the bills, friend. I don't know, different generation, I suppose. I come from that work's work, you know. Get on with it. Stop whinging. Just get on with it and stop whinging. It doesn't matter what you think. You still got to do it. But yeah, I guess there is that school of thought. You do spend so much time doing your job that you've got to at least enjoy it, haven't you? Hmm? That's the theory. No, I don't know. I think there's a lot more to be said for acceptance. And I'm not saying if you're in a, you know, God, don't get me wrong. If you're in an abusive situation, get out of it. Don't wait and think, well, you know, made my bed, I've got to lie in it. No, you haven't. If you're in an abusive situation, then get out. You know, but if you know, if you want to be a photographer, but it's not happening for you, then don't make yourself miserable doing the job that you're doing just because it's not what you want to do. So, well, that's not. I don't think many people are actually end up doing what their dream job, are they? Do we? I could think of a lot worse ways to make a living than what I'm doing. Really, and I've had some jobs in my time. I've had some right numbers, but it pays the bills, doesn't it? So I've just been told by our Grace in France that it's Mo's birthday today. Happy birthday, Mo. Happy birthday, Mo. I hope you're doing something nice on your birthday. Are you? How's it looking? Have you got some depth going yet? Do you see how it's starting to come together? So you're using that darker pencil now to get, not the darkest one, the medium one, to get another kind of darker edge like that. You see? There. So but you kiss that edge. You just kiss that edge there. Right, we'll do the letters in a minute when we get a bit clearer idea of where the depth wants to be. But we're getting there. That'll do. Look. Yeah, you see, so it's starting to work, isn't it? Let's go back to that light one. It's back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. See, the more you pull this out, the darker you can get within. So let's go again. Right, there we go. I remember Hilda's a great example, Hilda Smith. So I remember years ago, she wasn't happy in her work, but she still did an amazing job of what she was doing, but she wasn't happy, you know? And so she embarked on another project. And her kind of philosophy was, you know, we are of an age, and I don't want to do what I'm doing. I want to make a seismic change. You know, I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing something that I'm not. She really wasn't happy in her work, right? It didn't sit with her. I'm sure that she won't mind me saying this, you know. And so she made that seismic change, and she does what she really loves doing now. Now, whether or not it's paying the bills is another matter, you know. But she had courage of her convictions, and she just jumped ship, didn't you, love? And hats off to you, absolutely. I've got nothing but admiration and respect for you, you know, because I think that's brave. Most of us never do that, you know. It's always that fear of the unknown, isn't it? You think, well, don't know if I'd dare. And the other thing is that you have to make, sometimes, you know, you have to make sacrifices, don't you? If you're going to jump ship, then it's like, well, what are you going to do? You're going to have that cozy job that pays that job that you hate that really pays well, or are you going to make sacrifices? Are you going to cut your costs and take the risk and do something different, you know? Because most of us get used to, now I'm taking the darkest one that I've got going on, warm grey 5. I would have taken Payne's grey, but I couldn't find it. So I'm going with warm grey 5. And also it's quite a delicate picture. So you can, when you press hard, look, you can make it warm grey 5 dark. So it's just, this time it's a little bit sharper, not so much of a chisel. Right, and I'm really kissing that curb. Do you see? You kiss the curb and you stick to that line, and you're kind of thickening the line, but just from one side. See? And is it getting darker? So then you might, if you feel, well, I might take my chisely one again, my middle one, and then pull that bit out a bit more. See? So now you're bringing the depth out, but not so dark. There. And then bring that dark one in again. There you go. And it just starts to get really dark and great. Yeah, jobs, hey? Jobs. I think it's a generational thing. I do think it's a generational thing. And I'm not saying I'm right or we're right. Us oldies are right. And the young generation who want joy in their jobs are wrong. I honestly don't. I'm just saying that that's my upbringing. I was brought up to think, you know, this is the way I was trained or brought up, was a job's a job. A job, you work to pay the bills. And if you like your job, it's a bonus. And that's, I don't think I'm on my own on that one, you know. And, you know, there's that whole philosophy, well, if you don't like it, change it. If you don't like it, change it. And that doesn't even mean you have to change your job. Just either change your attitude or, sometimes your attitude can make a big difference, can't it? If you don't like it, change it. It doesn't mean change your job. It just means maybe change your job, maybe change your attitude, maybe get grateful instead of ungrateful. There are so many different things to change, but either way, if you're not happy, change it. I don't know. I think so. I've seen people obsess about, and it's none of my business. It's up to them. But they obsess. I'm not happy. This is rubbish. And then they obsess about the negative. They lean into the negativity, and guess what? It gets worse and worse. That's coming up nicely now, isn't it? See how you're just working on that side. See how. Yeah, so you can make something a lot worse than it is just by focusing on the negative stuff all the time. I don't know. I'm no shrink. I'm no psychologist, but I do know that if I reverse my thinking and I get grateful, get an attitude of gratitude, right? I don't know, change the situation. What looked really bleak can suddenly start to look quite not as bad as I thought it was. That's my thoughts anyway. I don't know. I think, oh my God. And then when you think about what's going on in the world, really, I think there's absolutely everything to be grateful for. Everything to be grateful for. For me, I can only speak for myself. I'm not going to start obsessing about things that aren't quite as they should be. Well, actually, here's the news. They're exactly as they should be. They just may not be exactly as I would like them to be. There's a big difference there. But they're definitely as they're supposed to be, said the universe. Said the universe. Don't you think? Doesn't that look nice? Well, I think so. Right. Is anyone here apart from me? I feel like I'm talking to myself and I already know what I think. Let's have a look at the yellow now. I'm really grateful. I'm a grateful camper. I am. I'm just coming up a bit closer to see. Gracie says she's there with me. Yeah. Taking early retirement from teaching is one of the best decisions. The job had changed so much. Oh, it's Jane, teacher. Yeah. Absolutely. And if you can afford to retire early, then why wouldn't you? It was a bit scary, she says. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. And Karin says, we're all here with you and listening intently. I just had to put my other glasses on because I can't see that far. Accentuate the positive. Thank you, Ken. That's right. And it's not a denial, is it? It's not like that you're blocking out what isn't ideal. But sometimes what isn't ideal can really cloud what is okay, So I know. And yeah, I think when I get like that, sometimes I get on an ungrateful, like, especially if I'm tired. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Halt. If I'm hungry, or I'm angry, or I'm lonely, or I'm tired, if I tick any one of those 4 boxes, I run the risk of getting miserable and ungrateful and resentful, which is absolutely pointless. It just is a waste of life. And when that happens, it's like, okay, park the bus, stop the bus, make a cup of tea, reframe your thinking, go and make a card, go and make some pottery, get out of your head, get with your hands. And another thing, and we've talked about this in the SHAC loads as well, is is to write a gratitude list. Just write 5 things that you're grateful for and just move away from that. Oh, that's not working. That's not working. That's not happening. You know, get away from that, because moaning about it won't change it. It will just change you. And thus spoke the voice of experience. You know, right? Yellow. Okay, straw yellow. Let's add a little bit of yellow now. So what? Low lights, highlights. So if this is white, we're going for this. If that's white, because that's, then I'm actually going to use the yellow on that side, right? So this is the side where we've put the dark grey. No, where we've put the dark grey, I'm now putting the yellow. Do you see? So it's kissing the other side. Yeah, that works. So all that edge there. Another thing that I think, right? And let's face it, opinions are like noses. Everybody's got one. I'm not saying that mine's the right one. It's just mine. Okay. But often, you know, we all know someone who never stops moaning. Come on. I bet you know someone who just never stops whinging or moaning. Right? Oh, everything's wrong. Everything's black. Woe is me. Poor me, poor me, poor me. And you think, God, they're hard work. And they bring you down, don't they? I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the person. Other people, when they see me, they think, oh, here she comes. You don't want to be that person, do you? And I'm not a happy clappy either. I'm really not. I'm not I'm not one of those either. But I don't want to be the person that people, when they see me coming, they think, oh, here she goes again. Moan, 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 moan. You know, it's not fair, is it? Take right, take friendly. You know, because you don't know what somebody else has got on their plate. They don't need all yours as well. You know. Do they? That's the nice thing about the SHAC. You know, we come in here, and it's not a dumping ground, is it? I don't dump on you. You don't dump on me. It's a safe, happy, and creative place. Remember? And that's the thing. It's just something so simple as shading a little bit of yellow. Look, it's starting to warm it up a bit. Right, so we use warm grey. Now we're using a warm colour for the dandelion. Okay, and you just bring that side in there. It's nice. And what about if we bring the yellow down right through this area, because we've created a little bit of a line there, haven't we? Yeah. No, I don't want to be a whinge, and I'm not going to be, because 1, it doesn't do me any good, and 2, it must be really hard for people around. And I know that because I know a few whinges. And none of them are in this room, I can guarantee you. Right, let's have a look. So we've got yellow. I'm going to cut a little bit of yellow across. I'm not going to put the yellow in there, just a little flash. Come on, let's not overthink it. That'll do. There. So you're going to join me on Thursday, shall we? Do a bit of felt revision, have a little recap. I mean, you spent a fortune on this stuff, a lot of you. So I really think it might be a good idea to know how to use it. And a few tricks and tips, always good. So now we're going to use that lovely peachy orangey colour. That's nice. I need wrong glasses. So tomorrow, friends, you're with, if you fancy it, we've got groovy Tuesday. So that's going to be Paul. He's going to be joining in. Cool. I tell you what, I was glad he was there over the weekend. I think By the time the show finished last night at 5 o'clock, I was good for nothing, you know? And it wasn't even stressful, really. It was really fun. But then you hit a wall, you know? So I was really grateful because Paul, he drove me up there. He kept all the stock flying so that, you know, I didn't have to think about that. I don't have to think about it. All I had to think about was what I was doing, you know? All I have to worry about is the demonstrations. And I don't do talk back either. I've never, I don't like talk back, you know. You know, again, different opinions for different people. I've got a microphone on, right? Like I have here. I've got a microphone on, but I don't have an earpiece unless I'm presenting. You know, like when I used to do the master, what was it called, in the classroom with Barb and that, or when I'm on my own and there isn't a presenter, then of course I need to have a hookup to the producer and the cameraman so I know what camera to look at. Although, having said that, there is a red light on the cameras. You can tell which camera to look at. The point being, and also as a guest, you shouldn't be looking at the cameras anyway. You should be looking at the producer. However, right, I don't do talk back at all when I'm on the telly, unless I'm on my own, as I say, because I want to concentrate on what I'm doing, and to have more voices in my head than I already have would be just a tad too much, right? So I know that there are guest presenters who think it's important. Well, I don't. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know what the money's doing. I don't need to know how the show is going. If it's going well, I'll find out at the end. And if it's going badly, I'll find out at the end, you know, because I don't want it to mess with my focus on the artwork. And the other thing is that sometimes I'm doing, no, not sometimes, mostly, I need to concentrate on what I'm doing. It's not that straightforward. You know, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. And so if I'm going to do the best, do you remember, these pencils, remember I said about you put in the action, right? Well, there it is again. So if I'm going to do the best possible demonstration that I can do, then to my mind, for me personally, I can do the best job when I'm 100% concentrating on it. Yeah. I put a little bit too much orange in there, so I'm going to go in with my little rubber and take that back because I don't like that stripe there. There you go, and gone it is. So you can rub that back. Even if you're a little bit heavy-handed, you can always go in and rub it out afterwards, can't you? Yeah. Has anyone ever invented, I wonder, square pencils so they don't keep rolling all over the table? Just thinking. I know that Faber-Castell did do kind of, oh yeah, and you can get pencils like these that I've got edges on them so they don't roll. Intelligent, look, see? Intelligent. Not so intelligent. Have you ever thought about that? See? It's true, isn't it? They just keep rolling at me. So if you're actually on a slant, if you're working on a little bit of a gradient, you're doomed. Yeah. But trust me, I'm not going to start reinventing pencils now. I think pencils they've been developed, they've been invented, and I'm not going to reinvent pencils. I just sometimes think it could be better. There you go. So I'm getting that really nice edge there. This is looking really fluorescent now. What do you think? Are you happy? I'll tell you what, today, just for today, even if you're not particularly happy, fake it to make it. Just pretend you are. Because that's what I do. And then what happens? Although today I don't need to fake it to make it. I'm just as happy as Larry today because I'm off the hook on the telly. See, and it worked. So I'm happy. I don't have to fake anything. This is me 100%. I'm not faking anything. But even if I wasn't particularly happy, right? I'd fake it to make it. That doesn't make me false. That doesn't make me false, because what happens is when I fake it to make it and I'm pretending to be okay, one, it's easier on the people around me, definitely. And two, after a while, when you fake it to make it, that becomes your reality, doesn't it? So I might pretend to be happy, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, hang on a minute, but I am happy now. So how can I be unhappy? I'm not unhappy, am I? I'm happy. There you go. And that, my friends, is how you do three-dimensional. They're good, aren't they? I like it anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's 3 minutes to 11. And forgive the waffle. I've enjoyed your company. I don't think that square pencils would feel that comfortable. That's true, Lynn. They probably wouldn't, would they? These do, though. I'm going to read all your comments later. I always do. Yeah, so keep smiling. Smile costs nothing. And it certainly makes the world a kinder place. It's like sunshine. And the sun is pouring in here, which is great. So have a lovely week. Have a lovely week. You know, just, you never know what's up the road. So have the best possible day. All you got to do today is have the best day that you could possibly have. And then tomorrow, get up and go again. All right? Don't worry too far ahead. Can't control it anyway. The only reality is now. Now is life. This is your life right now. Us doing this. Yeah. And what happened yesterday, that's done. And what's going to happen tomorrow? So that's history and that's conjecture. So this is it, friends. Love you loads. Have a good day. And I shall see you on Thursday at 7 o'clock. We'll have a little play. And I'm going to bring me 3 dandelions die to the party. Tuesday, Groovy Tuesday with our friend Paul. And then don't forget, on Thursday as well, Paul's going to be running the Pergamano show in Jane's absence. Happy to report that Jane Telford's Colin is doing better. So one day at a time, he's coming. He's back in the building, isn't he, Jane? Which is just a miracle. But Paul's she's had other things on her mind, obviously. So Paul's going to do the Pergamano show, and that's at 11 o'clock and 3 o'clock on Thursday. And he's showcasing Heads Up Friends. Remember Jane Nesterenko? Darling woman. Well, we've developed a really beautiful sampler plate of her florals. Gorgeous. Jazz done an extraordinary job. I think you will love Jane Nesterenko's floral sampler plate. I do know that Jane would have. So there you go. That's us trying to keep you company, keep you creative, and give you some ideas and tips. So see you soon. Lots of love. Have a great week and keep smiling.